Welcome to the Core Plugins Quick Win Action exercise. Now the purpose of this exercise is to experiment with these plugins we've covered in this module and just get to know them a bit and understand how they affect the audio and when you might want to use them. So firstly, download the audio stems that are in this lesson. They're zipped up below this video, and when you've downloaded them, load each of them into a separate track in your digital audio workstation. Then, using whichever plugins you already own, they could be the ones I've shown you in this module, or they could be the stock plugins that came with your DAW, mix the instruments and pay special attention to the differences that each plugin makes. We're going to cover signal path in the next module, but here's a hint to it. Start by mixing the levels, then add saturation if needs be, and remember, always have a reason for adding plugins, don't just add them for the sake of it. Then equalize the signal, removing any unwanted frequencies. Then add some compression, perhaps some additive EQ to boost some frequencies after the compression. And then, if you wanted, add some stereo widening, reverb, delay, and gate. Take special attention to note the difference in the sound if you order these plugins differently. So if you have the reverb before compression, it makes a huge difference to the sound. Similarly, if you put a gate before the reverb, it's going to be a very different result than if you put it after the reverb. Now, when deciding which effects you want to use, this is when you can refer to your 4D mixing space. But don't worry too much about how the final mix sounds at the moment. We're going to cover that later, so don't worry. This exercise is really just about learning how each plugin works and understanding what each control on the plugin does and how they affect the music. Now, as I've said, there are lots of different controls on all these plugins, and we'll be covering some of them in the Advanced Mixing Techniques module, which is next. But really, the most important controls on each plugin have been covered in this module. So if you learn what they do, understand how they affect the sound, you're going to be well equipped when we move into the next module. Now, rather than leaving you completely in the dark, I'm going to walk through an example of me doing exactly this exercise. So if you feel you'd like to see that, check out the next video. And when you finish this exercise, you will have a basic grasp on the core tools that we need to mix. You'll know how they work, when to use them, and added on to everything you learnt in the previous modules, you will be well equipped to move into the Advanced Techniques module next. So I will see you over there.